We'll get started in a couple of minutes as people join this webinar. Appreciate your patience. Good morning. I wanted to share a few tips to help you get the most out of today's webinar. First, closed captioning is available. Please click the closed caption icon on the taskbar to access the service. Second, only the presenters are able to turn on their cameras and microphones. Please use the Q&A icon on the taskbar to ask questions or share comments throughout the program. We will respond to questions after the presentation has concluded. Lastly, the program is being recorded and will be available after the event. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Spencer. I'm the Dean of Enrollment Management. As the person who signed your Honors Program Scholarship Letter, I'm delighted to kick off this year's Commonwealth Honors Program for accepted students. Personal connections are a hallmark of a Framingham State experience, and the annual Honors Program event is our opportunity to demonstrate this ethos in action. While we're not able to meet you in person, we are happy to provide this webinar to connect with you in a remote format. Earning acceptance to Framingham State is an excellent accomplishment to which I share my personal congratulations. Earning selection to the Honors Program is especially noteworthy because it provides special advantages should you decide to enroll. Today's program is designed to introduce you to faculty, staff, students, and alumni who are excited to share their experiences with the Honors Program and to answer your questions. I truly hope that you find today's program informative and helpful. I also hope that our welcoming, relaxed, and fun-loving spirit is able to transcend across the computer screen. Framingham State cares deeply about student success, and Dr. Ellen Zimmerman is the perfect person to set the tone for the rest of this program. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Zimmerman to you now. Dr. Zimmerman.
Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you to this Honors Program reception for accepted students and their families. I hope everyone's staying warm in the face of this current deep freeze. It's a challenge. I want to start by sharing with you why Framingham State University is so special to me. I've been part of the FSU family for more than 20 years now. And for most of those years, I was a professor in the sociology department. During that time, I worked closely with students from all different backgrounds, helping them learn in my classes, advising them on their academic career pathways, and also serving as faculty advisor for a very energetic student club that was focused on human rights and social justice. I've therefore had a wonderful opportunity to get to know our students. I've learned their concerns and misgivings, as well as their hopes and dreams. Being able to help students identify their goals and achieve them has been one of the most gratifying experiences of my life. I also have 4 children who've made it through college. The youngest just graduated last month, so I know what the college experience is like for students and their families on a deeply personal level as well. I want you to know that our mission at Framingham State is not only to help students earn their degrees, although obviously that is an important part of our mission, but we also want to prepare them for the world of work and for dynamic engagement with the wider world. We're also deeply committed to equity inclusion in our approach to all aspects of students' lives. At FSU, we're concerned for students not just as learners, although as learners, but also as people with complex and differing lives, challenges, obligations, and priorities. Our faculty are highly engaged teachers who are dedicated to helping all of our students achieve their educational and personal goals. They employ a wide variety of strategies for learning, to ensure that all students can learn and thrive. These include faculty-led study trips, both within the United States and in many other parts of the world. For example, as a faculty member, I traveled with a group of students for a 3-week study tour to China, and another time accompanied students on a spring break trip to Washington, D.C. As I read journals they kept and conversed with them while we traveled, I became very aware and amazed at how transformative the experience had been for all of them. Excuse me. Students also engage with their faculty outside the classroom in creative activities, civic engagement, both locally and nationally, and in student-professor partnered research. At every step, we encourage students to be active participants in their own learning process so that when they graduate, they are prepared for the challenges of whatever career path they've chosen. And most importantly for you who are here today, the Commonwealth Honors Program provides nurturing, guidance, and the opportunity to take on those high-level academic challenges that are so energizing for our highly motivated students. Students and families, we know the coming months will involve much research, much conversation about the best decision for your futures. Whatever you ultimately decide, we wish you all the very best. Please know, though, that we would love to welcome you all to our Framingham State community for the coming academic year. I would now like to introduce Dr. Paul Bruno, professor in the Department of Psychology and Philosophy and director of the Commonwealth Honors Program. He will be able to tell you much more about the wonderful opportunities that this program offers. Dr. Bruno?
Thank you, Ellen. Sorry for blinking in. First, I want to welcome and congratulate everyone for being here. Congratulations on your admissions to the honors program at FSU, and welcome. I'm going to give a brief overview after introducing myself. I am, as Dr. Zimmerman said, a philosophy professor at Framingham State. I am in my 16th year here and have directed the honors program for the last 5. So it is with pleasure that I'm welcoming you here this morning. So Jeremy, if you could go to that first slide. So I'm going to give you a brief outline of the program so you have an idea of what it'll be like at Framingham State. And the first thing to mention, I'm going to mention the second thing on the slide first, which is, as you know by now, everyone is offered a scholarship. I am active in the Commonwealth Honors Council, which is the statewide council, and we are one of the few schools that actually offers scholarships with honors admission. The second thing is first on our list here, and that is students in the honors program have priority registration. So when it comes to the each semester, when it's time to register for the following semester's courses, if you're an honors student, you register first. This allows you to be able to, A, fit the program, the requirements of the program into your schedule, but also register for classes in your major with priority, so that you never really have an issue at Framingham State getting the classes in the schedule that you want. And that certainly is something that students suggest is a nice perk of the program. And then the third thing is you have the option. You have to opt in or opt out with the letter when you accept for honors housing. There is a floor or sometimes 2 floors in the dormitories where you will live with your fellow honors freshmen. And that has proven over the years to be a really nice community building opportunity for students. You get to know a group of students in a way that's quite different from if you just see them on campus. So that housing option, I encourage students to do that. Of course, you don't have to, but it is a nice option. Jeremy, if you could switch to the next one. We also have 24/7 access available to honors students in the Honors House in 22 Adams Road. There is a house just adjacent to the campus in between North Hall and Larned Hall. that you can go into and study. You can go into and socialize. It has a sitting room, a big conference table room, and a sunroom. And really the range of things that students do in there. My office is on the second floor, I should mention. And a couple of years ago, we had students that would come in, a singing group that would come in the afternoon and practice their a cappella singing. But we also have, there's also quiet time there that some students find it sometimes quieter than the library. So that is a nice thing. And as I said, you have 24/7 access with your ID for that. The extracurricular activities and special events, we'll get into this in the next slide more specifically. But we sponsor retreats. We were unfortunately, this past fall, we're not able to take the freshmen to Thompson Island, but our goal next September will be to have the freshman retreat at Thompson Island in Boston. It's an island in the harbor of Boston. It's a very beautiful setting. And so in the next slide, I'll go into some of these programs. We also, I should mention, have the Honors Program Student Association that gives a voice for students in the governance of the program. The last thing on this slide is, as I mentioned earlier, I'm active in the Commonwealth Honors Councils, the statewide Honors Programs Council, and we are part of the statewide honors programs. So when you graduate from the honors program, you will be given an honors program designation on your transcript. So that's something that will come with your graduation, and that recognition will also take place at graduation. We have what we call an honors sash. So on your commencement gown, you will have the gold sash that recognizes your accomplishment as a Commonwealth Honors Scholar. Okay, Jeremy, you can go to the next. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, we like to build community through these extracurricular events. So there's a listing here of the events. I'll mention just a couple of them. I've already said the freshman retreat to Thompson Island. A very popular annual fall trip has been apple picking at Highland Farms. We get a bus and we go out and we pick bags and bags of apples and eat a few candy apples on the way home. We have a tradition of an open mic night at the Honors House. Obviously, with the pandemic, we haven't done it recently, but it's a fun. If there's any guitar players or ukulele players or a cappella singers, it's always a fun night to have the open mic night. In the fall, we have an ice cream social. We've had annual guest lectures. Faculty members from other universities come in and give talks. For the last several years, we've had a volunteer night. The Ronald McDonald House, which is now called the Boston House in Boston, is a home that is available for families whose children, literally from all over the world, are getting cancer treatment at Boston's Children's Hospital. And where a group of honor students go in and cook dinner for the house. And that has proven to be a really nice, it's sober to be sure, but it's a really nice event, I think, for students to be exposed to. Several years ago, my God, it's probably on 10 years, we have a group of students that go into the Nutcracker Ballet each December, just before the semester ends. We also have sponsored students studying in Prague, Czech Republic at Charles University for a summer semester. The way it works is when class ends in May at Framingham, students head over to Prague for a 6-week program that is basically the end of May and June. And that's really been a wonderful experience. And then one other thing that's not on the slide that I'll mention is every other year for the last, I guess, 5 years, we have sponsored a trip to Ireland. Dr. Kelly Matthews is a marvelous professor in the English department whose specialty is Irish literature, and she has been our guide. And we've done it on odd numbered years. We're not going to do it this August, but we're going to push it back a year. But that really is a wonderful trip as well. So that's a brief overview of the program. We're going to have a question and answer period coming up, and you'll have the opportunity to ask some of our alum and some of our current students questions about the program. But again, I want to welcome you and congratulate you with your admissions to the honors program. At this point, I'm going to hand it over to Rich Davino from Career Services.
So, hello everyone, welcome. Thank you, Paul, I appreciate that. So, brief piece about me, and then I really want to talk about how we can assist you. I've been in higher education for almost 25 years. I've worked specifically in any combination of career services and academic advising for the past 17. And as of today, I've been at Framingham State for exactly 2 weeks. And I say that with love and affection because I actually spent 5 years at Framingham State from 2007 to 2012. So for me, this is a bit of a homecoming, and I'm really excited to be back in the director role. So Jeremy, if you could move forward and let's get this going. So I'm going to throw out two student success tips along the way. This is the first one. We are convinced, I am 100% convinced that a student persists in college and completes a degree if two things are happening. They believe someone cares about them and they have a personal vision for their career future. And the honors program sets you up amazingly well to help you establish that career vision. You may have thought from the point that you were 7 years old that you wanted to be X, after you completed college, or you may not know. You may be entering college and say, I know I'm going and I'm going to figure it out along the way. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you envision what it is you'd like to do during your time at Framingham State, through the honors program and beyond. And the piece about believing someone cares about you, you have your family and you have us. We absolutely show deep care for the students that attend Framingham State. If you could advance, Jeremy, that'd be great. So here's a little bit of a roadmap. As much as I'm here to talk about career services and employer relations, I just need everyone on the call to realize that we are partnered. Our office is partnered with our student involvement and leadership development folks. These are our campus activity folks. These are, and as one big umbrella, we're considered a key part of campus engagement. I'm not going to take you through this entire path, but as you can see, starting from really this point into orientation, knowing yourself and potentially building out your leadership skills through the honors program, through sports, through intramurals, through your activities, through joining clubs, through leading clubs, through founding clubs. So many opportunities for you to grow and develop. We're going to help you develop those marketing tools, the resume writing, LinkedIn, cover letters, and leading to next step leaderships, and eventually landing that first dream job and or entrance into graduate school. So Jeremy, if you could advance it. So a little bit about our office. And I know some of you are thinking, this is great. Would love to know what the career office is going to do for me and how to get engaged. And some of you may be thinking, okay, I'm not even in college yet. Why do I need the career office? Isn't that something you need your senior year? And I'm going to dispel that myth and rumor right now. This is something we want you to get engaged with right away. We want you to become, know about our office. We want you to engage with myself and my team. And just a quick snapshot of some things that, first year students may need to know, or typical needs, helping you find an on or off campus job. That could be a very typical need your first year at Framingham State. Choosing a major, chances are you have a major in mind or you are engaged in a major, but what will you do with that major? What are the next steps? As I mentioned, writing cover letters and resumes. Networking with employers, networking with alumni, potentially upgrading your summer job in the summer of 2022, something that you may have been doing all this time. Maybe it's a chance to do something different, more related to your major, and helping students explore their why. What is it you want to do later in life? Why are you at Framingham State? Why are you a part of the honors program? We want to help you explore those pieces. Jeremy, if you could advance it. Success tip number 2, we are very much about the National Association of College and Employers, NACE, career readiness, career competencies. I'm not going to read these all to you, they're up there on the screen, But everything that we try to do out of our office, the approach that we take with our student involvement and leadership development partners, we try to keep these things in mind. And the reason why we do that is because these are the skill sets that employers are looking for you to have upon graduation. This is what they're seeking. They're seeking the deep knowledge that you're going to learn in the classroom. They want you to have these skills. And there are many components of the honors program, as well as the courses that you will take throughout your time at Framingham State, that will also help you to develop these skills. If you could move forward, Jeremy. So what makes us a little bit different? You know, our goal is to engage and connect you to as many alumni as we possibly can. We have over 30,000 alumni that have graduated from Framingham State. We're extremely proud of that. We're also extremely proud of the fact that, you know, according to College Choice's 2019 university rankings, we were ranked #1 among Massachusetts State University systems for return on investment. You know, considering the average graduation starting salary versus the cost of the education that you'll receive at Framingham State. And according to Money Inc. magazine's 2019 Most Transformative Colleges, Framingham State ranks 40th in the nation among all colleges. So we're extremely proud of those rankings. We want to make sure that there's great value and great experience coming out of your Framingham State education, and we in the career office want to be a part of that journey. Jeremy, if you could advance it. So getting connected. Again, our goal is to get you connected to us, get you connected to faculty, get you connected to employer and different experiences. So we host career events, networking opportunities. We certainly have spent a long time hosting them in person. We obviously, during the pandemic, have had to transition a bit and host those pieces virtually. And students have jumped right in. Employers have jumped right in. And in fact, in some ways, our reach has become larger because the access has become greater. So we're extremely proud of the work that we've been doing. We host employers weekly, literally weekly showcases so that you can touch base. The career team works very closely with faculty to conduct classroom presentations on career topics, resume writing, networking, LinkedIn. And we always want to put the experiences first. You're going to gain amazing experience through the honors program. Paul referenced the trips. Provost Zimmerman also referenced the study abroad opportunities. Those are a part of the experiences you can gain. Those are the things that employers are looking for, and we want you to have those experiences. There's an option to participate in our Suitable Solutions program. It's voluntary, but we certainly encourage it. I'm going to talk more about that in a few slides, but Jeremy, if you could advance it. This is just some highlighted resources that we have for you. Handshake is our career management system, internships, full-time jobs, work study positions, career events, all in one place. You have access to it from your phone, from your computer. You will know what we know. You will be able to search for jobs and internships through this system. Vault's amazing research organizations, or you can research organizations rather, company rankings, internship programs, career guides at your fingertips. Again, phone or computer. Career spots, over 600 videos from 30 seconds to 3 minutes that you can view on demand anytime you want about different career paths. Starfish, when you arrive on campus, you will have the ability to access Starfish, to book an appointment to speak with me or any member of my team, again, from your phone or from your computer. You want to meet with us, you go in, you pick a time slot, and then we're going to meet. And at this point, we're meeting via Zoom, but it could be phone, it could be email, and eventually we're going to get back into that in-person, face-to-face piece. And Focus 2 is a chance to explore, call it a career test, if you will, a chance to explore your personality, your interests, your skills, and your values. And again, just some of our highlighted technology. If you could advance, Jeremy. Suitable Solutions. So I mentioned this is an optional program that we highly encourage students to get engaged with, especially honors program students. TJX, Avidia Bank, Metro West, Chamber of Commerce have partnered with us for years on this program. It's a chance to develop professional skills, career and personal development skills. Different events are featured, different workshops are featured, again, resume writing, skill building pieces, trying to link what can you do with your major and what will you do with that in your career or your potential graduate school choices. Students are, at the end of the program, as a part of sort of the graduation for the program, are given $100 value, gift card basically to go out and purchase attire, professional attire for their future career pursuits, for future internship. Again, fantastic program. We'd love to see you engaged in it. Next slide. And we're also proud of the fact that, as you can see, we've had extremely generous donations from Enterprise, who's given money every year, from Mutual One Bank Charitable Foundation, Middlesex Savings Bank. So not only are we offering this to you as a student here, we have partnered with the community because they value what's happening on our campus. And that's a critical point. Next slide, please. So we have many internship opportunities. I wanted to highlight two unique situations. As you'll see, both of them pay $16 an hour if you were to enter the internship world. With choice, that's an opportunity for students who are otherwise pursuing unpaid internships to actually get paid for those internships. And whether that's a government, a nonprofit, an academic center at Framingham State, or a community organization. Pathways is another internship possibility that comes from a generous donation from the Jacobs Foundation. Again, also pays $16 an hour. And there's a workforce readiness component that comes along with the Pathways program. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about choice, because I think it's important to highlight the fact that the Commonwealth, the state of Massachusetts, is so deeply entrenched and dedicated to this program. Framingham State, Framingham State University Development Foundations has provided $600,000 to fund this internship program. Over 500 Framingham State students have gone through this program, even more if you are including this current year. And over $1.25 million is paid directly to students doing internships at over 400 internship sites. So an incredibly valuable possibility of how to pursue an internship while you're here. Next slide, please. So I realize this is a crazy slide and splashed up on the screen, but this is just a sampling of the types of organizations that we have partnered with over the years. You'll see corporate opportunities, you'll see government opportunities, nonprofits. Our goal is to meet you where you are and where you want to be, and we will help guide you there. You may bring us an idea. You may bring us a new employer partner. For the families listening, I'm gonna have a pitch right now. If you are a part of an organization and you want to potentially hire a future student, graduate, or provide a potential internship, please get in touch with me. Absolutely connect with me, because this is how we help expand our internship offerings and our partnerships. Next slide, please. So it is my extreme pleasure, because we're going to get to the heart of actually chatting with students, but in order to set that up, I'd like to introduce Lori Levine, who will set up the student panel.
Good morning. My name is Lori Levine. I'm the Assistant Director of the Honors Program. I'm also a professor of economics within the Department of Accounting, Economics, and Finance. And I'm thrilled that you guys are here with us this morning. And I am going to run the student and alumni panel for you guys. So as a reminder, if you do have any questions, I will be checking the Q&A and that is at the bottom of your screen. So please feel free to drop any questions in there. And I know we've already gotten some, so we'll get started on those. If all of my panelists could please turn on their videos. And to start, I'm just gonna ask, as questions roll in, I'm just gonna ask my panelists to introduce themselves. If you're a student, what year are you, and major? If you're alumni, when did you graduate? And just maybe a little bit about why you chose FSU. So I'll just, Alyssa, would you like to start for us?
Yes, no problem. Good morning. My name is Alyssa, and I am a junior here at Framingham State. I major in sociology, and I have minors in political science and psychology. Framingham State was definitely the right choice for me because it was close to home. It was affordable. It helped me with my overall goals. I am so happy to be part of the Framingham State community, but the honors program in particular, it just felt great to be a part of something, and I felt so welcome and appreciated. So yeah, that's my introduction. Go ahead, Rachel.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Spivey. Just like Alyssa, I'm a current student here at the university. I am a junior political science major with a minor in criminology. And I'm also part of our 3+3 pre-law accelerated program. So that was actually also going into why I chose FSU. That is definitely why. For those who don't know, the 3+3 pre-law program allows our students to complete their general education and major requirements here at Framingham State. And then your senior year of college is actually your first year of law school. So I'm actually going to be attending law school this fall, which is exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. But being able to also be in the honors program while on this accelerated course has proved rather easy for me. I was a little nervous, but definitely Dr. Bruno and all the requirements, you can definitely shift them around and make it work for you. And I think we'll probably talk about course requirements and whatnot later on. But yeah, that's a little introduction for me.
Rich, do you want to go next?
All right. I'm Richard Carbonaro, or Rick. I'm currently a grad student at UMass Amherst. I had graduated from Framingham back in 2014. I'm finishing up my dissertation hopefully this semester, at latest this summer. And I'm also a full-time statistician with the Veterans Health folk up in Bedford, Mass. And so I do that full-time. My major was criminology and psychology, but what I mostly do now is studying health and social determinants of health.
And Brittany?
And I'll go next.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lori. So my name is Brittany Cormier. I went to Framingham State and graduated from there in 2017. I had a major in studio art with a concentration in graphic design and minors in business administration and art history. While I was at Framingham State, I participated in the Gatepost, the student newspaper on campus. I was an academic success peer tutor and a foundations peer mentor. Right now, I'm actually a UX designer at MathWorks in Natick, Massachusetts, so right down the street. And I will be starting a new job at HubSpot as a product designer next week or so. So that'll be something fun to do. And then why I chose Framingham State, I really chose it because of the affordability. So I found that I didn't want to have a ton of student loans after I graduated, which I'm more thankful for now. And also the warm, welcome family feeling that I got. So in the art department, there were very small classes and I found I could actually connect with professors one-on-one and I'm still connected to them today. So.
Thank you, everyone. So we already have a few questions that came in. One of them asked us about current enrollment in the honors program. So we have about 270 students, 75 students in the honors program, give or take. Another question came in about a student athlete in the honors program. And I don't know, is anyone on our panel? Okay, we don't have anyone on our panel, but I can say for certain that we do have student athletes in the honors program. I've had a number in my courses. I don't know if anyone wants to speak about if they knew any athletes in the honors program.
I can go. I was going to say, so I also work as a foundations peer mentor, and I've had the ability over the 2 years that I've been with the program to work with incoming honors students in their honors seminar both years. In my very first year, my class was probably, I would say, 4/5 athletes. We had a few students that weren't, but it was a Friday afternoon class, and a lot of them were participating in a fall sport. So you're definitely able to do it and make it work. But yeah, a lot of my students were part of athletes, so they would have to, miss class to go to games and stuff like that. But we're definitely able to make it work with whatever your sports situation may be.
Yeah, absolutely. To get into more of the details of it, being in the honors program isn't typically more courses. Some of your honors courses kind of double count is what we call our gen ed courses. So students can definitely fit them in. Another question came in about the scholarship amount, and the scholarship is set, it's $1,000 per year or $500 per semester. Someone else asked about what do you guys think, either as alumni or students, what made the school distinctive for you?
I can go. Even as a commuter, I commute because I'm from Framingham. When you walk onto the campus, you just get this sense of home and comfort that I did not see anywhere else that I applied to. So that was something that immediately it was distinctive. And even now, during pandemic and during everything, walking onto campus, I still get that feeling, and it's an irreplaceable feeling that I love, and that's what makes it perfect for me.
I can also go. I think because Framingham State was such a small campus too, compared to some of the other places that I looked at, knowing that like in the art department, like there weren't going to be that many people and I'd make a lot of connections with other students was really valuable. And I think I felt that, you know, the first time that I went there, it was like people were saying hi to you and like you were only an accepted student then. So I feel like everybody truly values that family connection there.
Thank you, guys. So we have some other technical, I think, questions. Is language required? It is required as part of the Gen Ed program, unless you have an exception, which that does happen sometimes. And another question about AP courses. So some of you may have been taking some AP courses in high school. You do still get what's called transfer credit for those courses. So you don't lose those credit or anything like that. So those would still count towards your number of courses towards graduation, as long as you get the correct score on the AP exam. What about your favorite course at Framingham State and maybe how that led to where you guys are now?
My favorite course right now, especially, is my capstone course. I'm taking research methods too as a sociology major, and that class just it allows for a lot of flexibility in research of the things I want to do after my college career. So though at times it's challenging, I get pushed through. My professors help me out with everything, and I know that it's going to set me up really well once I complete it. So it's definitely my favorite course so far in my FSU career.
Anyone else?
I was gonna say, I think mine's tied. I always say that it's my moot court class that I took in the fall of 2019, where I actually got to go to Fitchburg State and compete against all the other undergraduate teams with an actual like court case that we had spent all semester preparing for. So I think that was like probably, I think the classes for me that I feel are my favorite were the ones with the most payoff, because I would say my other one was definitely completing my honors thesis this past fall. The research was so much fun. You really get to pick your own topic. So, you know, it's not just like an assignment where, you know, your professor's assigning you to do something. You really get to pick something that you're interested in. So I was able to complete my thesis surrounding gender bias psychology in custody battles and how that determines how the outcome is. So it's definitely something that I'm passionate about. And I was really looking forward to doing research when I did it. But also moot court was just a great class. The class was capped at 10 students. So we were really, really getting to know each other and really getting to, you know, hold study sessions outside of classes. We would even like meet up at a pizza place sometime for the commuters, and they would all come and we'd all meet and get pizza and talk about class. So yeah, definitely two of my favorites.
That sounds like a good class. You talked about the small class size, which is true for a lot of our courses, and especially in our honors program, the classes are capped at 20. So that is even smaller. Sorry, go ahead, Rich.
Oh, that's fine. So my favorite experience at Framingham was I got to take part in a class, which might not be for everyone, but it's called the Inside Out Prison Exchange Program. So you 10 like traditional college students and 10 prison inmates, actually, we get to take a class together. And so I got to be the part of when that was starting out, and it's still going, it's going strong. So if that's something that interests you, that's a really cool experience that you get to go into a prison and learn alongside folks who are in jail.
Yeah, really great experience. And Dr. Bruno has taught in that program as well. So we can talk about that as well if you have any questions. I'm getting a bunch of questions about AP scores. So the minimum score is a 3. A lot of people ask about that. Did anyone do any internships while you were at Framingham State, and what would like to talk about that experience, and kind of how it helped you, you know, maybe decide what career or what major to go into?
So I guess like I did the choice internship for the prison program, and I actually helped start that and then helped teach the class later. So I did that, and that really helped me decide that, yes, I wanted to go to grad school. I really helped me learn that, yes, I enjoyed teaching, and that was something that I wanted to pursue.
I also did 2 internships while I was there. One was actually on campus. So as a foundation's peer mentor, I had the opportunity to be the intern that was kind of in charge of all of the other peer mentors and making sure that everyone had what they needed to conduct class. And then on the separate side, I was an intern at a marketing department for Enterprise Bank in Lowell. So this was where I was trying to do some graphic design work and see how I liked working in the marketing department. I found it super helpful, and I actually had to like give a presentation to class about it. And then it kind of informed like what work I wanted to do in the graphic design field later
on. There was a question about internships on campus versus off campus. And both of you participate in different internships. I would say, I don't know the exact percentage, but there are a number that are on campus. But there are also many students who intern off campus. We are lucky to be in an area where there are lots of local businesses that students intern at. I know I personally have students at TJX down the road, MathWorks also down the road, and where Brittany works, Bose, and those are just to name a few. There are a lot in there, Middlesex Savings Bank. So I would say there is a good combination. I wouldn't know the exact percentage. How challenging did you find the coursework? And it can be both honors and non-honors classes.
The coursework for me in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, it was very, very hard to get used to the transition from high school to college. But like I said, like the honors program and the professors are they communicate so well with you and always there to help you. So I think that the coursework definitely started off as challenging, but there's every way you look, there's somebody there to help you. So never be afraid to ask questions in your classes and stuff like that. So it's hard, but you definitely get through as time goes on.
So maybe for our alumni, looking back, what did you enjoy best about FSU?
I think one of my favorite parts about being in the honors program was the priority registration that I think Dr. Bruno mentioned earlier, to be honest. So every semester, I think we would register on a Friday, and then the rest of my friends would register either on the next Monday or sometimes like a week or two after that. So I was never really worried about getting into any of my honors classes, but then also the other classes for my major too. So because it is small classes, like sometimes you have to have a few schedules made in advance if you're not an honors student to just be able to get into those. So that was definitely one of my favorite parts about being in the honors program.
Yeah, I think that the mentorship is something that's really big for me. While I was at Framingham and then continuing while I was in grad school, I had a really close and helpful relationship with my advisor. I still keep in touch with my advisor from Framingham, despite having graduated 6 years ago now, or no, almost 6.5, I guess. Yeah, wow. That was really good. And then in terms of other relationships, I met my fiance there. I mean, I can't promise that'll happen with you, but you know, that's a nice thing I got.
No promises on that one, huh? There was a question about tutoring being available on campus, and there's absolutely tutoring. We have a center called CASA, where we have tutoring in most different academic areas for students. But I think you will also find, and I don't know if anyone wants to talk about it, that our faculty are happy to help. We are all faculty that are there because we love to teach, and we know we have small classes, and we hope students come to our office hours and ask questions and ask for help. So absolutely, it's good to seek help outside when you're struggling, but the faculty are there to help you along the way. There's also a question about honors housing. And yes, there is a floor, usually in towers, that is specifically for first year honors housing. And usually the RA is also an upper class honors student. Did anyone here live on the honors floor and maybe want to talk about it? No. Rachel, go ahead.
Yeah, I lived on the honors floor on the 11th floor of towers. I think best views to date that I've seen at the university, because I was right over Framingham Common. So I have a picture from my room of every single season. It was just absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I lived on the honors floor. And I believe that the 10th floor is now turned into like the high academic achieving floor, which is kind of like rollover from the honors floor. So a lot of honors program students who like kind of graduate from the first year floor will like move down a floor and choose to live there. I have a couple friends who actually lived with on the 11th floor who now live on the 10th floor. So yeah, it was definitely a great experience. I think the best part about it is that you're surrounded by people who are going through the same situation as you. You know, a lot of students are coming in with like that AP transfer credit. So you can like knock on your neighbor's door and be like, hey, like my name's Rachel, I'm a political science major. And a lot of this, everyone's like a different major too. My roommate was a fashion design major, but we were right next to a biochem major and like a neuroscience major. So there's all sorts of different students that live on the floor too, which is really great in building that environment. But yeah, some of my best memories are from towers. And I think that if I could go back and like relive any of my years at Framingham, I think it'd be that very first year when I was making all these friends. And Towers is a great building too, because it's one of our predominantly first year student buildings. So there's a lot of freshmen in the building. So there's always events going on, lots of RAs. And like Professor Levine said, there's a lot of different people that you can talk to in the building as well, including your RA. My RA was named Marina, and I still talk to her to this day. And she was a great resource to, you know, ask questions to. We even had like an event where everyone kind of sat outside in the common room to all like register for classes together. So you kind of build that sense of community also from the floor too. I definitely recommend it.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm gonna single you out, Rich, because you went to grad school after Framingham State. So if you could just talk a little bit about if you felt like Framingham State prepared you for graduate school, and specifically if the honors program kind of played into that.
Yeah, so I definitely felt really prepared for grad school. My advisor from Framingham kind of helped me get ready, actually gave me extra readings to do too, like, and kind of to make sure that I was as prepared as possible. One of the main ways that I was prepared much more was through the research methodology course in sociology. I was very prepared to be able to do research more so than other the other students who also were starting grad school. So yeah, I felt like I was really prepared. Is there anything more specific I should mention or?
No, that was great. There was another question about dorms. Are they specifically for each gender? Are they mixed? I believe most of the dorms on campus are mixed just by room. Are there any that are specific for gender? There are. Okay, there's some that are specific for gender as well, but the honors floor is mixed. There's a question about the law school partnerships with the 3+3 program and what law schools are partnered. Rachel, do you know the answer to that for us?
Yes, I do. So with the 3+3 pre-law program, you have the option to go to 2 different law schools. So the first partnership that we have is with UMass Law at Dartmouth. So that's a great public school option if, you know, you're looking to go to law school, but, you know, kind of money's like maybe an issue, or, you know, you want to save some money by going a public option. We definitely have that one. That partnership, I think, is about 3 years old now. And then one program that we have that's a year older is we have a partnership with Suffolk University in Boston. So that's the more private option. So it's great because we offer like a public and a private. So depending on kind of monetary value, whatever you want to do, financial concerns, stuff like that, there are 2 options, but you're still able to go to a great law school and save a bit of money too by going to law school early. So that's a plus. So yeah, the 2 programs that we have are UMass and Suffolk Law.
Thank you. So there was a question about the other scholarships that we offer, and those are decided in the spring, and there's no separate application for those. So I think kind of as our Oh, and there's also a question about the biotech major, which is a 4+1 major. I don't think anyone here, no one on this panel has done that. I don't know any other information about who that's partnered with off the top of my head, but we're happy to get that information. So please feel free to take down our emails, which will be on the last slide, and you can email us and we can definitely get that information. I think kind of as our last question, someone asked about travel. So has anyone here did any study abroads, whether it was a semester, a trip, over break, over spring break, and you guys want to talk about your travel abroad?
I can share a little bit. So I didn't do a semester, but I do regret not doing a semester, if that helps. I did do a week program with the graphic design professor, Stephanie Gray. So what we did was she organized a whole program with Education First Tours, and it was to Copenhagen, Denmark. So there were students from our class, and then I was also lucky to travel with other students and professors from, I believe it was UMass Dartmouth, and then another college local to Massachusetts. So she had kind of like a little network for us to travel with, which was really cool. It was an opportunity to meet people from other universities also studying graphic design, or they could have been studying anything, but it was mostly art majors. And then while we were there, we did like a bike tour of the city. We did like some sketchbook work. We made sure that we ate out at a bunch of different places. And I found it was a really unique opportunity because you get to go abroad, but you also get to go abroad with your professor, who at that point was also my mentor and was going to be my honors thesis capstone advisor too. So it was a really cool opportunity to just like hang out with your professor and also kind of still learn from them in another country. She had lived there also for a few years while she was getting her master's degree. So it was really cool. And I found that a lot of other professors have similar experiences where they've traveled abroad to places before. So.
Thank you, Brittany. So we're going to start wrapping things up, but I do see one more question about the requirements for the honors program. So the honors program requires 5 honors courses and an honors thesis. The 5 honors courses typically fall into a student's general education courses. So they're not 5 extra courses. They're essentially courses that you can kind of double dip, I call it. It's an honors course plus a gen ed course for each student, and all students have to take 10 gen ed courses to graduate. So the only course that sometimes is an extra course is the honors thesis. And students usually do that in their senior year. Once in a while, it happens in the junior year. And that's usually an individual research project with a professor in your major field of study. Sometimes that sounds daunting as you come into college, but usually by the time students get to their senior year, they're really excited to be able to dive into something in their field that they've, fallen in love with or really find interesting. So it usually happens pretty naturally. So I usually tell our first year students not to worry about that honors thesis just yet. And you'll see that it will happen pretty naturally. So I will just see if there are any other questions in just the next minute or so. But if not, we'll be wrapping up with Rachel. I'll be passing over to Rachel, who's going to give you kind of a virtual campus tour. And again, we really appreciate you guys are here today, and we hope that we'll see you hopefully even in person at FSU in the fall. So I will hand it over to you, Rachel.
Perfect. I'm going to hand it off to Jeremy really quick. Sorry to play like hot potato with passing it off.
No,
I know that we have a last slide.
So I appreciate that, Rachel. Thank you so much, Lori. Thank you so much, Rich and Paul and Ellen. Hopefully our participants really got a sense of the honors program, got a sense of why we think it's so near and dear to our hearts, and why, everyone who's on this call should feel really excited about being part of the honors program, because, should you decide to enroll at Framingham, you will get special advantages that not only will help you as a current student, but as our alumni have shared, can help you after graduation. Just wanted to leave this screen up. This is contact information. Feel free to contact Paul, Lori, or Rich directly if you have any questions following up from the presentation. I will say that we are going to give just a couple of minutes for a bio break before we go into the campus tour, which Rachel will lead. Before I do, I did want to mention that if you go to our financial aid website, there is a full tuition room and board scholarship available for students. It's called the Mancuso Scholarship. It does have specific criteria in terms of the major that you're choosing, but you can learn more. So again, if you go on for our financial aid webpage, there's going to be a blue contact bar that says full tuition and fee scholarship available. Click on that. The eligibility criteria is there, and the scholarship application is due by February 15th. And I'm guaranteed that the admissions office is contacting all of you to encourage your application if you have a consideration for that. So again, take a couple of minutes. We will shift to our campus tour, and I would say it's 9:55 right now. I'll give a couple of minutes, and Rachel, I'll turn it over to you when you're ready, and then you can take the reins for that tour. Sound good?
Perfect. Thanks, Jeremy.
Okay. So Rachel, just let me know when you're ready for me to stop sharing this. I'll give you the ring.
I think I am ready and all ready to go. Okay, welcome back everyone. Just took a couple minutes. Hope you were able to stretch your legs, get a drink. And now I am so excited to welcome you guys on a student-led remote campus tour of Framingham State. If you've already had a chance to come and visit campus, that is great. I hope you enjoyed, really get a sense for that, campus feel. So I definitely encourage everyone, if you haven't already, to come take a campus tour with us or do a self-guided tour, kind of come check out the buildings with all the information that you're going to learn today and just reinforce that and, really get to picture yourself here at Framingham State. Just going to introduce myself a little bit more in depth. Obviously, I was just on the student panel for the honors program. So I am a current student here at the university, and also I just completed the honors program with the completion of my honors thesis last fall. My name is Rachel Spivey. I am a political science major with a criminology minor. And I'm also in that 3+3 pre-law program that we were talking about earlier. I was living on campus my first 2 years here at the university, so as a freshman and a sophomore. But now I currently live in an off-campus apartment in Framingham. I do have to say I really was very, very strict on having our apartment very close to campus because my dog loves the very big hills. So we always go over there for walks and stuff like that. So it's great to still kind of get that, campus environment and stuff like that, even when I'm not living on campus. In addition to being part of the honors program, I also serve as a student admissions representative, giving tours to prospective students. I also work, like I said, during the panel as a Foundations Peer Mentor as well. I actually had the great opportunity of working with Jeremy this past semester with our class, which was awesome. And then I'm also part of some clubs too, including I'm the fundraising chair for the Hilltop Players, which is our theater group on campus. And then I'm also part of our Ignite Club, which is about female power in politics. I was a founding member and now I'm the current president. And you can also check me out on the front of the FSU website. I was very overwhelmed to see that I was there, but definitely if you want to hear more about my experience with academics and whatnot, definitely head on over there and read my little bio on the website. But just some reminders, if you guys do have any questions throughout the presentation, I'm sure that someone else will be keeping track of the questions that come in. And I'm sure probably we'll do like a little mini Q&A session, but nothing too extreme because we just did one big one. So yes, let's get started. So our first stop that we have here is our Admissions Welcome Center. The Welcome Center is where on campus our physical tours would take off from. So if you're coming for a campus tour led by a student or a self-guided tour, this is where you would come to meet with our admissions staff. Our counselors are great and always willing and ready to get in contact with you. But then you can also come and meet with students like me, student admissions representatives, who can kind of give you that student experience along with all of that admissions information. But you guys were already accepted, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Our next stop on the student-led campus tour is our McCarthy Center. So this is our student hub on campus. So it's a high spot of traffic during the day for our students. There's food in here, offices, resources, places to study. So it's definitely very much a high spot of traffic when there are a lot of students on campus. The first amenity in the McCarthy Center that we're going to be talking about, as we talk about the McCarthy Center for a few of the following slides, is the Student Transportation Center, where the desk is in that top right picture on the right, where you see the students standing around the desk. That is our Student Transportation Center. The STC operates our Ram Tram, which is our shuttle that students can use whether you're a resident student or a commuter student. So no matter which one you're interested in, you're definitely able to utilize this service. It's free for you to use, and I'm going to talk more about it when we get to the actual Ram Tram stop on campus later on. But just know that it's, like I said, a free resource that you can use, including those tuition and fees. So it's definitely a great resource on campus. The next thing that you'll see in that same picture to the left is our Dunkin' Donuts on campus. Pretty standard to on New England campus. You gotta have it. Framingham State runs on Dunks. Framingham State built this Dunkin' Donuts in the spring semester of 2019. And the great part about it is that it has everything that you would find at an off-campus Dunkin', except it's conveniently located right here in our campus center. So you don't even have to go off campus to grab that bagel and coffee before class. We also have our game room, which you can see in that middle picture on the left. The game room is open 24/7 with ID access. There's board games, console games, and just a fun place to hang out in there. Then in the game room, we also have we used to be able to buy tickets for different trips and events through our Student Leadership and Development Office through the game room, but now it's all through an online portal. Some examples of trips include Boston Bruins games, Red Sox games, trips to Washington, D.C. for a long weekend, overnight trips to New York City, Boston day trips, just to name a few. And there's also some trips for the honors program as well, which Dr. Bruno covered. I remember going to the Christmas tree light show at Faneuil Hall in Boston with the honors program, which was probably a great time. We got to walk around, go shopping, and then watch the light show together. So always fun stuff, and it's free for you to do. And you can take a night off and go see the lights. We also have our student lounge, which is a great spot for studying, relaxing, meeting with a group for a project. And there's also a print station in there, and I'll talk more about printing later on. But then we also have our Masmanian Art Gallery in here, which also houses works from outside in the Metro West community throughout the semester. But during our spring semesters, you'll usually see some senior work in there. So if anyone on the webinar today is interested in a studio art major or communication arts major, your work would most likely be displayed in our art gallery for your senior works. So that's really cool. Then we also have the alumni room and the 1839 room, which are just 2 meeting spaces where club events are usually held as well. Okay, so some of the offices that are prominent on campus are located within the McCarthy Center. The first one that we have is actually, there's not a picture of it, but is our Student Services Center, which is home to financial aid, the registrar's office, and then student accounts. Best way to get in contact with those folks right now is by email. So I definitely recommend emailing them if you have any questions. Next up, we have our Career Services Office, which Rich did a great job at talking about all the different amenities that the Career Services Office offers. But just a quick overview, they do resume building, career coaching, mock interviews. If you're going to an internship or job interview and you're kind of nervous, they can help you with that. They also have a closet where you can borrow professional attire if you're going to an interview and don't have anything to wear, which is great as well. Plus, you can utilize these services even after you graduate. So, you know, if you're 5-10 years down the road thinking maybe it's time for a career change and you need some help, you can definitely come back to our Career Services Office, because once you're a RAM, you're always a RAM. So you're able to come back and utilize these services, which is great. And Rich also talked about our alumni network, network. So definitely you're able to utilize that as long as you've graduated from the university. Next up is our Dining Services Office. This is where you would go to change your meal plan on campus if needed. But you can also be sure to check out our Framingham State Dining Services website, because we have outlined there all of the price points with how many meal swipes for the dining hall you get, how much of each monetary determination you get, depending on which meal plan you buy. So I definitely recommend checking it out. Now I'm going to cover what the two options that are on the slide are, which are dining dollars and RAM cash. So at any of our dining locations on campus, including Dunkin' Donuts, which we've already covered, and then all of the dining locations that are to follow, you can use 5 methods of payment: cash, credit, debit, RAM cash, and dining dollars. Dining dollars come with whatever meal plan you purchase. And you can use that at any of the dining locations across campus, like I said, and you can check out those charts on the Dining Services website for how many you would get per semester, depending on which one you buy. But RAM cash is a bit different. It's separate from the meal plan, and RAM cash is kind of like a debit card system where you upload money onto your account and you can spend it that way. And in addition to being able to spend at any of the dining locations, you can use RAM cash to do laundry in the residence halls. You can use it at the bookstore. We even have some off-campus locations, including our gelato place across the street, Dulce de Leche, and then also Whole Foods down Route 9 that also accept RAM cash. So you can even do some off-campus shopping with that same card that you would use on campus. If you guys have any questions, definitely feel free to throw them in the Q&A box. But I definitely recommend checking out the Dining Services website. I'm more of a visual person, so it made more sense to look at it in like a chart form. Okay, then next up we have our McCarthy Center Forum, which is less of an office, but more of an event space. It seats about 200 plus people. So we'll have employer showcases in there, study abroad fairs, health fairs, improv shows, all sorts of stuff in there. And then also we have University Police. So it's standard to what your town or city police station would kind of entail, but on campus 24/7, 365, even when students aren't on campus, our University Police are still patrolling campus and making sure everything is all right. We're going to talk more in depth about safety in regards to residence halls, but if you do have any questions about safety on campus, please feel free to ask them in the Q&A box. Okay. Next up on our tour is the dining hall. Our dining hall was recently renovated in the summer of 2018, which is why these pictures are absolutely gorgeous. Probably one of my favorite places to study just because it looked so nice. So right when you walk in to that entrance that you'd see in the far right picture is where you would swipe in, or you can also, if you're a commuter and don't choose to have a meal plan, you can also kind of pay as you go and pay right at that station as well. And once you're in there, you're able to stay for as long as you want and eat as much as you want. It's buffet style, so you can go crazy. There's always something to eat. There's always between like 35 to 45 options to choose from. And we're not going to go in depth into all of those different options, but I will highlight some of our specialty stations that you will find when you enter the dining hall. So if you were to enter and go to the left, you would find our vegan vegetarian station, our mainline station, which is usually a protein and 2 sides, salad bar, soup station, a burgers, fries, dog station, pizza station, and we even have an allergy station that covers the top 8 food allergens, in addition to a gluten-free room for anyone with a gluten sensitivity. We also have a breakfast nook with English muffins, cereal, toast, that kind of thing, a dessert table, and then a coffee, hot cocoa, tea kind of bar. And then in addition to this side of the dining hall, if you were to enter and go to the right, You would also find our made to order deli station. We also have another made to order station called Magellan's, which kind of picks a theme for breakfast and dinner and lunch. So for breakfast, they'll do made to order breakfast omelets, but then for dinner, it'll change every single day, from anything from burgers to Philly cheesesteaks to noodle bowls to fried rice, and you can customize it however you want. And then the last station that we have in the dining hall is called our You Cook station. I think that the You Cook station is very special to Framingham State in that we actually give our students the opportunity to cook their own meal. So we'll provide proteins, starches and vegetables, sauces and spices, and there is a chef there to make sure you don't burn the house down, but you're able to cook your own meal. A lot of students will do a stir fry or a pasta toss kind of variety with sauces and meats and vegetables. So definitely really cool opportunity in there.
Rachel,
oh yes.
We do actually have a question for you. So
perfect.
Is the food actually good? And I can preface this by saying, you know, I've worked at many campuses across the country, and I can absolutely attest to the fact that Framingham State offers excellent dining options. My daughter, who's also an accepted high school student, loves when I bring her to campus and loves to eat on campus. You know, as a staff member who oftentimes eats in the dining hall or caters events, the food is fantastic. And my wife, who also works in higher education, I'm going to let people know where, but whenever I tell her what food we're offering on campus, she's always jealous. So, but how about from a student perspective? Want to share your experiences with the food?
Yes, absolutely. So I like to always preface this question with the fact that I am not a picky eater, but I'm a creature of habit. So if I find something I like, I'll tend to eat it repeatedly. But the great part about Framingham State is there's tons of variety. Like I said, 35 to 45 options for a meal every single time you walk into the dining hall. So, you know, if you're not feeling something one day, you can definitely have something for another day. So I definitely liked the allergy station a lot. You're able to eat there even if you don't have an allergy, but I am lactose intolerant. So I tried to stay away from like the heavy milk options. So I would always eat there. And it's a great option too, because, you know, they do tend to, you know, maybe repeat the options, but you're definitely able to really customize it to your own. You know, if there's like a meal or something and it comes with something that you don't want, you can always ask the dining services person who's working, the staff member, and they're able to kind of accommodate whatever you want. And with options like the You Cook station and our made to order station, you definitely are able to customize whatever meal you want, like your own. So yeah, definitely, you probably, a lot of students don't go hungry. I mean, you know, it really depends. I think it's a conditional question because, you know, some people might say, oh, the food is bad, whatnot, but we are the showcase dining hall for Sodexo. So that should say something else too. And the salad bar is great. So I always ate salad with every meal. So
perfect. And the other question that we can field right now is someone who posed whether or not people can just take a trip to Framingham and walk around campus. I can respond to that. There are different visit options if you visit our website that you can come to campus. We definitely would encourage you to come to campus during one of those visit options because we can give you some information. If you want to take a self-guided tour, we can give you instructions on how best to navigate the campus. That being said, we are not a closed campus. We're not a gated community campus. So if you did want to drive to Framingham and drive around, you're more than welcome to do that. But again, if you want to walk around the campus, strongly encourage you to schedule it through the admissions office so we can help provide the best experience for you.
Absolutely. And you get to see our great faces too, which is nice. But last point about the dining hall is the hours are 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. on the weekdays. Then on the weekends, the dining hall is open from 10:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Ooh, that was a tongue twister.
Okay, Rachel, we got more questions for you.
Perfect.
So are you allowed to take food to go from the dining hall? And are there restaurants like fast food options nearby to walk to?
Okay, so the first one, are you allowed to take meals from the dining hall? That's a great question. We actually have a to-go kind of container program that we have through the dining hall. It's about a year old. I don't think they're doing it right now just because of, you know, sanitary restrictions and everything like that. But we usually have a program going where you basically can get a to-go container and you can take a meal out if you want. I was able to do it and I really liked it because, you know, sometimes I am very busy between jobs and work and clubs and other schoolwork. So I was very much usually on the go doing something. So it was very convenient to have that little to-go container. So yes, you can take food to go and that sort of thing. And we even have a section kind of as you're leaving the dining hall where, you know, you would dispose of your trays and silverware and stuff like that. There's even a section with bananas, oranges, apples that that is encouraged that you take on your way to class. So yes, yeah, you can. And then fast food options. I am from a small town in Massachusetts in North Central Mass. I'm from Winchendon, Massachusetts, if anyone's heard of it. But I came to Framingham State and the first thing I did was download DoorDash. I had never heard of it before because I am from, you know, small town, don't really have a lot of other fast food kind of dining options. And oh my gosh, was I very pleased. There's so much around us. We have, you know, bagel places, University Pizza across Route 9 from campus is a great place. They even deliver free to campus. I still order from there, even though I'm in an apartment. There's McDonald's, there's Dunkin' Donuts, there's all sorts of different stuff. I definitely recommend, if you're not familiar with the area, that you search Framingham State on Google Maps and you just like kind of zoom out and you can see everything that's around us. We're also in very close proximity to Shoppers World and the Natick Mall and other different places that the Ram Tram can take you to, which I'll cover at the end kind of. So yeah, that's a great question too, but yes, there's tons around us. Yes. Okay. Jeremy, do we have any more questions before I start this slide?
We do not.
Okay, perfect. So like I said, we talked about RAM Cash and dining dollars and how those are kind of the different options that you can use to pay for things on campus. So these are 3 of our different dining options, similar to Dunkin' Donuts, where you can use those 5 methods of payment. The first option that you would have is the snack bar in the top left picture. There's grab and go snacks here, an icy machine, a mochi kind of container thing, and there's even a made to order sushi bar in the back. It's really great if you're on the run and you just need to grab a sandwich and a bag of chips and a drink really quick. You're able to do that here. Next up, you would see Metamorphosis, which is one of our restaurant options on campus that changes the style of food that's served every semester based on student votes. So we've had Mediterranean food there, custom mac and cheese bars, gourmet grilled cheeses, stuff like that. And then the next stop that you would see is our Ram's Den Grill in that bottom left picture. The grill is great because it has tons of fried food. It's probably one of my favorite dining options on campus other than the dining hall. Everything from burgers to wings to French fries, onion rings, quesadillas, basically anything kind of in that realm that you can think of. And the best part about the grill is that sometimes it's open till 12 or 1 in the morning, sometimes even 2 in the morning during finals and on Thursdays and stuff like that. So it's one of our late night places to eat. They also offer breakfast options as well, including pancakes and omelets and breakfast potatoes. If you're an early bird, I'm definitely a night owl, so I'm definitely there in the later hours. And the grill is just overall one of our more popular dining options on campus. Okay, so this is our first stop where we're going to cover some like a variety of different options, including academic buildings, resources, and residence halls. So our first stop is May Hall in that top middle picture. May Hall is home to our English and history and political science and art classes. So most of your arts and humanities kind of based majors would be there. You can have classes of any different subject in any of the different academic buildings on campus. So just keep that in mind. Regardless, you will become familiar with all of the buildings and you'll be able to navigate campus pretty easily once you finish that first semester. I remember I was like so nervous. I wasn't gonna know where any of the buildings were. And now I give tours 3 times a week and I'm able to, point out, and I know all these different things about all the buildings. So you will get to know campus very easily. It's very small, not small, but more compact, and everything is close together. So you're not going to have to run across campus and be 30 minutes late for class trying to get from your residence hall to an academic building. So definitely everything is tight knit and you're able to get where you need to go in a short amount of time. Across from May Hall is Foster Hall in that top left picture. Foster Hall is home to our counseling and health and wellness centers. We have physicians that work full-time on campus. So if you get sick on campus, you can get seen there by appointment, or we also have walk-in hours for both of the offices as well. They can also fulfill prescriptions. And then this is also the office that conducts our free COVID-19 testing every week as well. FSU also provides free counseling for students and therapy resources, excuse me, to students who would like those resources. And those offices are both open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, with designated walk-in hours every day from 2:30 to 3. You don't need an appointment to be seen at those times, but to make an appointment, all you have to do is call or walk in. So it's very simple. Next, we're going to look at the first of our 7 residence halls, which is West Hall, in that bottom left picture. West Hall opened in the fall of 2016, and you can live here at any time throughout your 4 years here at the university, and you are guaranteed housing all 4 years, so we don't kick you off campus after 3 years of living on campus. You're able to live up until the moment you graduate. We're going to talk more about what a suite style room kind of entails as opposed to a traditional room, and more in depth about the amenities that are found in each of the residence halls as well in a little bit. Then lastly, we have O'Connor Hall in that top left picture. O'Connor Hall is a building that houses mostly professors' offices, in addition to most of our social and behavioral sciences classes. So more political science classes will happen in there, psychology, criminology, philosophy, that kind of thing. They would all find their home in there. In addition, we also have our advising center in there and also our Center for Inclusive Excellence. Something I do want to discuss when we talk about O'Connor Hall is our student to faculty ratio, which is 13:1. So our classes typically have about 20 to 25 students in them. And like Lori was saying earlier, our honors classes are capped at 20 students. So you'll definitely never have more than 20 students in an honors class as well. This makes it so easy to get to know your professors. And when I tell you that I'm able to walk down the hallway where all of the political science professors' offices are, stop in, ask about their dogs or their kids or whatnot, something that's going on in their lives, I'm definitely able to do that. You will really get to know your professors and they'll get to know you. And this is great because, you know, they'll give you access to job opportunities, internships, and that sort of thing. And every week, all of your professors are required to hold at least 4 hours of like office hours every week, where you can go in, or sometimes they'll do walk-ins, but most of the time you have to make an appointment. You can ask questions about class or just talk to them about whatever they're teaching. Chances are they'll probably want to talk to you more about whatever they're teaching because they might be, I don't know, a little bit enthusiastic about it. But I always like talking about, you know, especially being a political science major, the elections, stuff like that, candidacies, all sorts of stuff with my professors. Okay. Our next stop on the virtual tour is Hemingway Hall, which is our main academic building on campus. It's primarily a classroom building with some lecture rooms and even some department offices. Some of the majors that call this building home include biology, business administration, geography, math, computer science, physics, earth science, education, and also fashion design and retailing. There's a IT kind of help center on the first floor in the back corner of Hemingway Hall, which provides services for both administration and students, but I'm going to be talking more about printing and IT and stuff like that when we get up to the IT help center in the library, just because I don't want to repeat the same information twice. But also in Hemingway Hall, there's our Child Development Center run by the Education Department, where, you know, our students are able to work one-on-one with the children, and they usually come from like surrounding communities as well. And, you know, really where our education majors get to practice in a practical setting, kind of like a classroom setting as well with the students, and really get that experience before they head off into their internship opportunities off campus. We also have a preschool on campus as well, located in between West Hall and the McCarthy Center, that students are able to work at as well. So there's lots of opportunities for our education majors on campus. Up the hill from West Hall is another one of our 7 residence halls, Lindsley Hall, in that top middle picture. Lindsley accommodates approximately 150 resident students in our traditional double occupancy kind of style with the communal restrooms, but there's also some 6 and 8 person suites as well in here. Basically, what it boils down to is a suite has a private restroom within the room, I guess I would say. So the door, and then there's a private restroom that you would clean yourself within the room. And then a communal style residence hall, you would find a restroom designated by gender in the hallway. So yeah. Lindsley Hall is also the only residence hall that has air conditioning, just because it's where our summer students will stay in between the spring and fall semesters. So your summer RAs, summer orientation leaders, that sort of thing, that is the building where they would be staying in. Right across from Lindsley Hall is the Honors House. So obviously Dr. Bruno covered the Honors House a little bit more in depth, but just know that it's a space exclusive to the Honors Program students. So you can study in here, hang out with friends, practice a presentation, and it's just 24/7 access to a quiet study space. Something that I remember from my tours is that they told us that it's on a different electrical grid. So if the power goes out on campus, the Honors House will actually probably still have electricity, just because it's on a different like kind of grid system than the rest of campus. So if you need to print something and the power goes out, you can definitely head on over to the Honors House and you'd be able to print something there. Then next up, we have the next of our 7 residence halls, which is Miles Bibb Hall. Miles Bibb houses suites of 4 students here. And this is our only residence hall that first-year students are not allowed to live in, and that does not house our first-year students. So once you get to be a sophomore, junior, senior, you can look forward to living in Miles Bibb. And the next slide, we're gonna be going over more residence hall information and what that suite style living entails. So I'll save that for then. But across from the entrance of Miles Bibb Hall is another one of our dining options on campus, which is called Sandella's. Similar to the Ram's Grill, Sandella's is open till 12, 1, 2 in the morning. So it's another late night option that you have to eat. Here they have flatbread pizzas, quesadillas, rice bowls, soup, salad, sandwiches, and a huge grab and go snack selection as well. And they take the same 5 methods of payment: cash, credit, debit, RAM cash, and dining dollars. Okay, Jeremy, did I see a question pop in just before I start talking about residence hall information?
You did.
Perfect.
Perfect. Let me take a look at this. Okay. Speaking of orientation, is orientation happening this year for people going to the school for fall 2021? And then also, are there substance-free dorms available on campus?
Yeah, so orientation is still happening this year. It happened actually this past summer on a virtual platform. So I'm sure that they will still hold it on a virtual platform pending what is happening, because obviously summer is still a far ways away. But yeah, definitely look out in your email for that more information on that. And then actually talking about substance-free dorms, we are a dry campus. So actually within the residence halls, there's no alcohol or illicit substances allowed in. So all of our dorms are substance-free in that way. Great questions though. Okay, so I'm going to start talking more about residence halls. So right here, we're going to be talking about 2 of our residence halls that are predominantly first-year students. We don't have any residence halls that we say, okay, strictly only first-year students are allowed to live in this building. Just because we find that, you know, a lot of your classes, clubs, activities that you'll be participating in, you'll be with students from all sorts of different kind of like age ranges from freshmen to seniors. So we don't want to, you know, stick you in a residence hall to just make friends with freshmen. We want you to meet everybody. And I definitely can relate to that experience, as I've met friends throughout all of the different kind of academic levels when I was living in the residence halls. But first up, we have Corinne Hall Towers, which is our one of our residence halls where I think the demographic is that 70% of our first year students will end up living between these 2 residence halls. So if I was to chance it, I would say you'd probably end up living in one of these 2 residence halls for your first year here at the university. But these 2 buildings are very similar to one another because they really house a predominant amount of double style rooms, which you can see a sample one in that top left picture, as you can see right there. But regardless of the type of room that you get here at Framingham State, you'll always have a bed, desk, a dresser, and a closet specifically assigned to you. So you'll always have that no matter where you are. And in regards to suite style living that we mentioned in the previous slides, our suites are typically broken up by double style rooms. So for instance, like a 4-person suite would be comprised of 2 double occupancy rooms. So 2 people and 2 people, and then a little common hallway in between them, a bathroom on one end and a shower on the other. In Miles Bibb Hall, where that little common hallway is, there's usually like a living room kind of style room, and the same in Lindsley Hall. So some suite style buildings will have that little hallway, or they'll have a living room kind of conjoining the 2 double occupancy rooms. But when you fill out your housing application, because I'm sure some of you guys are already thinking about coming onto campus and moving in, but when you're filling out your housing application, you have the ability to request what room you want to live in, what building you want to live in, and who you want to live with. So for example, the honors floor is on the 11th floor of Towers. You're able to request to live on that floor if you want to. And also, like I said, the 10th floor is the high academic achieving floor if you wanted to live somewhere like that as well. On the 6th floor in Towers, we also have our Arts Collective floor. And then in Larned, on the 2nd floor, we have our 24-hour quiet floor. And on the 6th floor is our New England Sports Fan floor. And you can definitely check out our Residence Life website for more information on that. And in addition to kind of this slideshow presentation, you can also check out our Visit Us kind of undergraduate website to find a video from our Residence Life office that they've put together. It's about 4 minutes long. I definitely recommend you check it out. It shows off a majority of our residence halls, kind of what the common room kind of area styles look like, what its standard dorm looks like. So I definitely recommend checking it out. But all students have the options of living in a single, a double occupancy room, a triple style room, which we do not do forced triples, so there'll be adequate amount of space for all 3 students, or then also that suite style living like we were talking about earlier. You'll get an email from Res Life with your housing decision prior to your move-in day, so there will be no surprise when you get onto campus, and you can plan ahead and know who your roommate is and stuff like that. It won't be like you just show up and you're for now just learning who your roommate is. Some of the amenities that our residence halls have include study lounges and TV lounges on each floor of the residence halls, great spaces to meet new people, hang out, attend events. A lot of RAs will put on events in either of these spaces. And you'll also be able to find a balance between like academics and social life. There's never a dull moment living on campus, and I can definitely vouch for that. And the commuter students are always welcome to attend events that are being held in the residence halls with friends as well. They just have to get signed in. So yeah, even if you're a commuter student, you're still able to attend these events if you wanted to. On the main floor of each residence hall, you'll find some amenities including laundry with some front-loading washers and dryers, which you can use RAM cash to operate or coins. And then we also have like a kitchenette with like an oven, stove, microwave, and a fridge. I just blanked on those. And then also a personal mailbox that you would have depending on which residence hall you live in. Speaking of safety in the residence halls, all of our buildings are locked upon arrival. Your FSU ID will be what scans you into the building that you are a resident of. You can't just go swiping into every single building. You can only get into your own residence hall. There will always be a student security desk attendant right inside that building at like a little main desk working that will also scan your ID. So they're there 24/7, so you can kind of come and go as you please. Any guest that you bring into the residence hall will need to show a government issued ID if they do not attend Framingham State. So driver's license or a passport works fine when they are signed in and out of the building. So they have to have that ID on them as they're getting signed in and out of the building. It's a really nice safety feature that we have in all of our residence halls. And it's nice to know that the buildings aren't just like generally open to the public as well. And we also have security cameras placed in some areas in the residence halls, including the lobbies and certain hallways and stuff like that. And if you have any questions about safety or living on campus, definitely feel free to ask and I can answer that. We also do utilize the blue box system as well for emergency services, kind of standard to a lot of other college campuses nowadays. But basically our campus is small enough where if you push that button and it's an emergency, a campus police officer will be with you at wherever you are on campus within a minute. So definitely really great peace of mind to know that we have that kind of small kind of campus. So we are able to have that kind of sense of security as well. Okay. Our next stop is Henry Whitmore Library. So this is where our main IT help desk is. And at Framingham State, we have a laptop requirement. We just don't have a laptop necessarily that we require you have. The laptop that you do have does have to fit a certain set of kind of like standards, I guess, that's set out by the IT department. So definitely check those out if you're curious. But I always say that I've had friends who have had Surfaces, Dells, HPs. I have a MacBook. So you're definitely able to kind of choose whatever you want within those kind of standards. The IT help desk can also help you with printing. So at Framingham State, if you're a resident student or commuter student, regardless, you get 350 printing pages per semester. So you're probably thinking, why am I getting so many? A lot of professors, have you upload things online now or email them to them instead of, printing them out. Well, we still want to give you those printing pages just because we realize that you may be, drafting essays or something like that, needing printouts for instructions for something that you're doing. So you're definitely still able to use the full 350 throughout the semester. And if you run out of those 350 printing pages, you're definitely able to go down to either of the IT help desks in Hemingway Hall or the library, and you're able to reload more into your account. There's plenty of study rooms for group and independent studying throughout the library as well. And this is, just a great kind of standard study space on campus. Some of the academic departments, so for majors that you might have in this building include communication arts, world languages, and music. Also in the library is our Red Barn Cafe, which you can see in that top right picture. It's a great place to get a coffee, tea, a grab and go snack, and it's a great place to read too. I love to read in there because it's always super duper quiet. And then we also have in this building a curriculum library for our education majors with books, DVDs, games, all sorts of stuff like that, that you can bring into the classroom and kind of check out like you would a book and bring into the classroom with you. So that's really awesome as well. Okay. So the next stop on our virtual tour is Hemingway Labs. So Hemingway Labs was an addition to Hemingway Hall, which we kind of were in earlier. So it was completed in September of 2015 and houses laboratories of food nutrition, biology, chemistry, and food science. And there were 16 new labs, fully accessible, built in the addition. And each one of these labs was like $1 million. So there's tons of new technology and equipment that's being housed in these labs. Plus, the building is soundproof, so it makes for a great study space. There is a general education requirement that you do have to take a lab at some point, even if you are not within the STEM major. So you'll probably be in here in one point or another, but if you have some AP or dual enrollment credit coming in, for example, I took a biotechnology dual enrollment course when I was a senior in high school, so I actually did not have to complete a lab here at Framingham State because I was able to transfer that credit over. This is just a great place to like hang out and study. It's very quiet. I liked to study in here to complete my thesis. Because I found that there's really no one in there to study. They would just kind of go to class and head out. So yeah, I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a quiet place to study as well. Awesome. Our next building is Dwight Hall, which is our main administrative building on campus. Some of the offices that are in Dwight include executive offices like the president's office, not dean of students, the business office, HR, admissions processing, where we process your admissions applications into the university, and then also our Office of International Education, which is our study abroad office. If you're interested in studying abroad, I definitely recommend checking out their website for student testimonies, price points, trip options, all sorts of good stuff like that. For just, kind of generalizing it, we have week-long trips. We have trips that are a month long, a year long, faculty-led trips where you can get honors credit once you go abroad. So there's definitely a ton of options. So definitely check out that website if you're interested. But Dwight Hall also houses some classrooms up on the second floor, and on the entrance floor, you'll find our Performing Arts Center. We'll have larger club events in here like speakers, comedians, bingo, musicals, plays, dance recitals, and all sorts of other events similar to that throughout the semester. We have over 60 organizations here at FSU, ranging from academic kind of based clubs, including art club, history club, English club, math club, future education club, stuff like that, to our extracurricular clubs like the Gatepost, which is our student newspaper, to our student radio station, WDJM, to the Hilltop Players, which is our theater group, to dance team, to equestrian club, to video game club. So there's something for everyone. And you're also able to start your own club too. All you need is you and a friend, and you can get funding from our SILD office, and you can go on trips, plan events, do whatever you see fit with your club. So that's always great too. Okay. Our next stop is the Athletic Center. So on the top floor, you would walk into our fitness center. We have fully functioning fitness facility here that is open for all students to use, and you don't have to pay an extra gym fee to use the Athletic Center or work out here. It's all included in your tuition and fees. You just gotta have a valid Framingham State ID to get into this facility. We also have 2 aerobic rooms, which you can see in that top right picture, where we offer free exercise classes like Zumba, kickboxing, spinning, jump roping, that sort of thing for students to participate in as well, that are also free for you to use.
Rachel, we have a question. Is there a mock trial team?
Oh, perfect. So we don't have, like a club, not necessarily, but like I said, I was part of Moot Court, which was a class, which is essentially the same thing as mock trial. My roommate always tries to tell me that it's different, but we don't have like witnesses or anything like that. It's just the 2 kind of like attorney kind of figures. So I definitely recommend, if you're looking for that sort of mock trial thing, participating in moot court at some point, but there's not a club right now. You could always start the club though. That's what I always think. You know, if there's not something, you could always be the one to start it. So definitely it's based on student interest. So if that's something you're interested in, you want to get started, I'm sure someone in the political science department would be more than willing to kind of facilitate that club or something like that. Great question. Do we have any more, Jeremy, or was that it?
That was it for now.
Okay, perfect. Almost done. So when you walk down the fitness center, you would still be in the athletic center, but this is kind of like our main entrance floor. This floor contains our juice bar, which has anything from grab and go snacks to coffees, teas, acai bowls, water, smoothies, all sorts of stuff. You can kind of see the array of stuff right there. And you can use the 5 methods of payment at the juice bar as well. This floor also contains our campus store and bookstore. So the campus store is towards the front where you see those sweatshirts, mugs, blankets, definitely have a lot of FSU swag. I think I have like an arsenal by now that I've purchased at the bookstore. There's also an essentials section of the bookstore though, or the campus store I should say, where we have deodorant, Tylenol, toothpaste, just in case you didn't have time to go off campus to get it, or you know, you just need it right away. We have it at the campus store for you to purchase just immediately, just right on campus. Then at the back of the bookstore, or the back of the campus store, we have the bookstore, and the bookstore has a price match program, which I definitely recommend, where if you find your book or access code or whatnot online for cheaper than we offer in our bookstore, you're able to price match it and get the difference on a bookstore voucher. Books are obviously a very big expense when you go to college, so it's a great way to save money, and you can definitely check out their website for more details on that. In terms of athletics, we're a Division III school. So if you're interested in playing a varsity sport at all, the coaches' offices are also on this floor. So that would be where you would go to visit them. But you can also use the Recruit Me tab on the athletics webpage to get in direct contact with those coaches right away. So if you're looking, you know, to get interested, meet the coach, maybe meet someone who's on the team, I definitely recommend using that Recruit Me tab on the athletics webpage. In addition to varsity sports, we also offer some intramural and club sports as well that are organized on campus that are still the same rigor, but maybe just not the kind of like the competition level, I guess. Then going down a flight of stairs, you would see our main gymnasium, which seats about 500 plus people. This is where our basketball and volleyball games take place, but also our employment and enjoyment fair. If it rains, usually we have it out on the nice Crocker Grove, which is a nice kind of grassy area right near Dwight Hall and stuff like that. So it's always very nice. But when it rains or something like that, it's probably in the main gymnasium. And then we also have our end of the year fashion show for anyone who's tuning in that's interested in being a fashion design and retailing major. This is where our end of the year fashion show would happen. We turn the whole place into a runway with lights and a DJ. So much fun. Okay. So for our last slide here, we're going to start off with the first 2 of our 7 residence halls. The first one we're going to talk about is Purse Hall in that bottom left picture. Purse Hall is home to actually our only all-female dorm on campus. So every other residence hall on campus is a co-ed dorm, meaning that both male and female students can live there. But in Purse Hall, it's specific, it's a gendered residence hall, so only female students. When Framingham State was founded in 1839, it was an all-female school. So we kind of like to keep the charm of that by keeping Purse Hall an all-female residence hall. It's mostly upperclassmen and mostly single style if you're looking for that private style of living. And I say it's mostly upperclassmen students just because they're looking for their own kind of private style of living, but you're definitely able to live there if you want that kind of private style of living your very first semester and your very first year. Horace Mann Hall is a co-ed dorm standard to the style of kind of like Towers or Larned, and it's mostly double occupancy rooms with a limited number of suites in there as well. Right behind Purse is what we like to call CASA, which is our Center for Academic Success and Achievement. I know we asked some questions about tutoring earlier, so I'm really glad that I'm able to elaborate now. But CASA is home to our math tutors, writing tutors, subject tutors, and even online tutoring services that we offer through our Tutoring Services Center online. CASA is also home to our Disability Services Center, so if anyone tuning in has any academic accommodations that they may need for their classes, that's where you would go to arrange those as well. We do offer some other programs, including supplemental instruction. So here at the university, we do not have any teachers or graduate assistants. We do what we call a supplemental instruction program, which is CASA will hire someone who's previously taken the class at the recommendation of the professor teaching the course. I have had supplemental instructors for math classes and history classes, but I've also seen them for science classes and stuff like that. It's more challenging classes. And two of them were honors classes. So yes, there will be some supplemental instructor for honors classes as well. So specific tutoring for the class. And that student will come to class with you, write down what you're learning, and basically hold sessions 3 or 4 times a week where they will review what you've learned in class. So basically just reinforcing what you're learning, not teaching you anything new. So it's just basically another helping hand in your academic success. We also offer academic success peer tutors. Like was mentioned earlier, they just kind of help you get accommodated with that work life, transitioning from high school to college and the workload that it might entail. Then right behind CASA is our Ram-Tram shuttle station. So this is where the Ram-Tram would pick you up to go to any of the off-campus places where it can take you. So this is the vehicle that our Student Transportation Center drives. So every day they're on a 10 to 15 minute loop that goes from campus to Target, Shoppers World, which is a plaza in Framingham with like Chipotle, Barnes & Noble, TJ Maxx, all sorts of shopping places like that. The Framingham commuter rail stop, and also the Natick Mall, which is the next town over. The best mall in Massachusetts, no need to look any further. Best mall in Massachusetts is a 10-minute drive away. I was sold. But this is a great option for students because it can help you get to off-campus jobs. So it's a free ride to and from work. It's also a great way to, get off campus and go shopping or go out to eat with friends as well. If you do have a car, if you choose to bring a car to campus as a resident student, you are allowed to bring it to campus throughout the 4 years. So even as a first-year student, you just have to park it in our off-campus lot, which is another spot that the Ram-Tram takes you to on that kind of loop. And then also for our commuter students, you do just have to park down the hill for your first year, but then once you get to be a sophomore, junior, senior, you're actually able to park on upper campus, so you don't have to walk as far. But the Ram-Tram is free for all students to use and is used by mostly everybody. I think every single person I've ever talked to who's come to Framingham State, whether they are a resident or a commuter, has used the Ram-Tram at one point or another.
Rachel, we have a question. Do you have any recommendations on one of the easiest ways to find a roommate or how to find your perfect roommate?
Ooh, that's a good question. So my very first roommate was actually someone I knew from high school. So definitely ask around, when you're at those kind of like end of the year activities for high school and stuff like that. Definitely ask around and see if anybody's, going to the same school as you. Some schools do it differently, but at my high school, we kind of just had to ask around, but a lot of people would find roommates that way. So, it's usually someone from high school. If you're part of a sport coming into the university, maybe it's someone you met on the team. A lot of students will meet at orientation. So that's still something that you're able to do if you meet someone, through that kind of way. But I would say a majority of our students actually meet through our Accepted Students Facebook page. So if you guys aren't already part of that kind of Facebook page, I definitely recommend joining. It's a great way to meet other people. A lot of students will kind of start off with like a little blurb about themselves saying like, oh, my name's Rachel. I'm a political science major. I'm a night owl. And I really love spaghetti or something like that. And people will find commonalities and then they'll choose to room together. So I don't necessarily think that there's a way to find your perfect roommate. I would say kind of trust your gut on that one. If you get a sense that this person might be a great person to live with, that's awesome and you can live with them. But just know that, it might take a few tries to find that perfect roommate, and that's all right. Our Office of Residence Life is more than willing to help you with transitions that you might need. If, one roommate isn't working out, then, we can always help you transition into another room or something like that. Find the best solution for you.
Rachel, the second question is, what is the Accepted Students Facebook page called? And I can answer that if you go to the Accepted Student page, which is www.framingham.edu/accepted. On the Accepted Student page, you will see a link to how to join your class's Facebook page, and that's where you can get the messaging.
Yes, I was gonna say the best part about the Facebook page too is, although it might be of great use to you now, it's gonna continue to be of great use for you throughout your 4 years. So for example, clubs will post information in there about events that they're holding. And the great part about it is too, our administration is very active. For example, I know Shayna's on the Facebook page, but we also have Ben Trapnick, who's the director of our new Student Family Programs office on there. So they're able to answer questions. Our Dean of Students are on there. So, you know, any questions that you might have, it's a great way, an open forum that you would have to ask those questions as well. So, you know, if there's something going on with your financial aid, you don't know who to talk to, you can definitely post on that Facebook page and someone will direct you to the right office or person to speak to, which is also really nice.
And what Rachel mentioned, Shayna Eddy is the director of undergraduate admissions. So you got your acceptance letter from her. So when Rachel said Shayna's on that page, that's who she's referring to.
Yes.
So let's, we do have, you know, about 10 minutes left. If there's any more questions, if you want to put them in the Q&A, we'd be happy to answer them now. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, other than that, I think I am all set for the campus tour. So definitely ask those questions. Even if it's just about like student experience, what's going on campus, you can definitely ask me. But yeah, if you have any questions for the admissions office regarding anything pertaining to that sort of thing, you know, booking a tour, if you're a little confused or something like that, this is the email and the phone number. So you can definitely reach out if you have any additional questions. But yeah.
Well, I will turn back on my video to say thank you so much, Rachel. I will put a plug in every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. Dr. Loretta Holloway, who's the Vice President for Enrollment and Student Development, in addition to myself as the Dean of Enrollment, have a dedicated Zoom meeting for all of our accepted students. Our next 8 p.m. meeting is this upcoming Wednesday. Every day of the event, you'll get an email from admissions or a text from admissions. You'll get something from admissions that says, tonight, 8 p.m., show up. And what Dr. Holloway and I are there to do in a very relaxed way is answer your questions. So hopefully a lot of you got questions answered today. If you want to join us live and have your questions answered, please do so. If you want to email admissions@framingham.edu, please do so. And over the course of your accepted experience, you're going to get continual information from us. Hopefully by now you received the postcard from our academic deans giving you a formal welcome and driving you to our accepted student page to be able to link up with faculty. So if you connect with faculty on the accepted student page, you can ask specific questions of faculty. Soon you're going to receive a postcard that's going to drive you to our accepted student page, which allows you to connect with a current student. So our keys going forward is keep that connection with us. We're so excited that you're accepted to Framingham, and we really would love to have you join us as the deposited student and come and be on campus next fall. So any closing thoughts before we end the webinar, Rachel?
I was going to say, I think I saw a couple more questions come in while you were
okay, well, let me take a look. Good,
yes.
Good eye.
The first one, I think you could probably answer better than I could, and I think I could answer the second one. But where will the recorded video of this presentation be uploaded?
It's going to be located on that accepted student site. So when it's the Rams Rising virtual events, those are where all of our events are. This is our first accepted student webinar. So that's where it's going to be housed, and you can come back to that. And we will have future webinars and type experiences in that location as well.
Yeah, definitely recommend checking out that website if you have not already. And then the last one pertains to, I'm pretty sure this person is talking about the Hilltop Players, asking if you need to major or minor in theater to participate. And the answer is no. I am a political science major with a minor in criminology. It's just one of our student clubs on campus. So that goes to show that you don't have to be a specific major to participate in the club. For example, I know people who are in art club that aren't art majors. So you're definitely able to participate across the board. You don't have to be a designated major to participate in that. For the cuts answer, sometimes depending on the show there is, but I would say 9 times out of 10, in all of the Hilltop productions I've done, everyone who has auditioned for a musical or a play, we do both every single semester. Everyone who's auditioned has gotten a role. And we also could use help with like stage management and stuff like that. So definitely opportunities for everyone. But yeah, that was it.
Well, again, thank you so much, everyone, for participating. We really are happy that you were with us this morning, and we hope you have a great weekend. So take care, everyone.